Hey guys, Ray Fitzgerald here. Welcome back to another week of RaiseALegend.com. So this week we're talking about the importance of heroes in a child's life. Now heroes and role models are very similar, and we're going to get to both of those topics this week. But really a hero in a child's life, early on, they tend to kind of gravitate and attach themselves to somebody that they see a lot in the media. Whether that be a pop star that they hear on the radio, or an athlete that they see on TV, or one of these quasi-celebrities that they see on social media. So this is because a lot of times this lifestyle is something that they idolize. They want to be big like that and get a lot of attention. So they attach themselves to that because that's what they aspire to be. They don't really know better at this point. And even though we would like our children to choose heroes at this early age that are truly heroic people, somebody that's a historical figure, somebody who's changed the world, a lot of times that's not as appealing or provocative to a child. So even though you may not be a big fan of who your child is following and idolizing right now, just know that chances are over time that will change. I only say this because when I was a child, and I've mentioned this many times on the site, I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm like way overboard on basketball. But when I was a child, my hero was Larry Johnson. Big time basketball player for the Charlotte Hornets. I was 10, 11, 12 years old when he was in college and when he joined the professional ranks. And I just knew everything there was about this guy. Everything from his high-flying dunks all the way to his little persona that he did on his Converse commercials, his cross-dressing character of Grandmama. I had every basketball card he was on. I had every magazine cover he was on. I had read everything about this guy, and I knew everything that I probably thought there was to know. Now, this was before the time in social media. Problem with today is that a lot of times our children can idolize people, and because they're so accessible on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all of these other platforms, they get to know a lot about them, and that includes their warts. Not everyone is perfect, so a lot of times your child may choose someone to be a hero who maybe has some skeletons in the closet. That's why it's important as parents that we sit down with our children and talk to them about different people. Who is your child's hero, and why do you choose to idolize that person? Let your child understand that that person's not perfect, even though they may come off that way in many cases. So, they have to understand that these problems, these issues, these other little things that maybe this person does, they're part of the mistakes that everyone makes. But that doesn't mean that they're okay to make them. In many cases, if a child really gets attached to one of these heroes or these celebrities, they'll think, well, if they do it, that means it's okay for me to do it. We obviously need to stop that and make sure that that doesn't creep into your child's brain, because sometimes these behaviors are something that you really don't want your child following. And since we can't choose our child's heroes, it's up to us to kind of stand in the middle and make sure that we help them delineate between the bad and the good. So this week we're going to get really in-depth into this. I won't talk too much about Larry Johnson, even though I still follow the guy, even though later on I kind of found out about some of his warts. Thankfully, I was old enough at that time to understand that, this is part of life. People do things, and I don't have to follow that path. I didn't follow it. But that said, he's still a great guy, I'm sure, and he was an amazing basketball player, so I don't want to disparage him in any way. But whoever your child's hero is, and leave a comment down below. I'd love to know who the children are following these days, because maybe I'm out of the loop. I don't know. So let me know. If you're on the story right now, keep reading below, and know that this is a 3-part series. So whatever story you're on could be one of 3 different parts. In the first part, we're going to look at heroes and the importance and the roles that they play in a child's life. In the second part, we're going to look at role models, which is a little bit different than heroes, and the importance that they play in a child's life. In the third part, we're going to dig into how can your child be a role model in the classroom? Because every classroom is filled with lots of different students, lots of different personalities. There's so many moving parts and things going on that it's important to have students who stand out and are able to lead the way and provide a good role model, but not be that goody two-shoes. I'm sure you remember every classroom has one of those, and there's a fine line between being a role model and being that goody two-shoes teacher's pet that all the kids kind of may not like too much. So we're going to talk about ways that your child can develop those skills without going overboard. I hope you'll follow us throughout the whole process here this week. If you're on the story, keep reading below. If not, check out the links in the description. I'll put a link to all 3 stories. Check them all out. Check 1, 2, however you'd like it. Let me know what you're thinking. I look forward to talking with all you guys soon. See you soon on RaiseALegend.com.